Hello and welcome to my Sims 4 tiny house build. Now this house is going to be absolutely tiny. It is along the same lines as the tiny house movement, and that's what I aim to try and achieve today. Now this house is not going to have some of the normal amenities you might expect, like a cooker and a shower. This is because this house is being built for a live off the grid challenge, and I'll explain to you a little bit more in the next video why I haven't included these things. So for now, I'm just changing the aesthetic of the outside of the house and making it look more like an actual home someone could actually live in. Now I'm just putting on a few little timbers around the outside of the house to make it look a little bit more like an actual home and just make it look a little bit more cute and quirky. A little bit of trouble with that back one, trying to get it to sit on correctly. I think it was more of an error by The Sims rather than what I was doing. So now I've just put in a little trim to the outside of the roof and just changing the foundations, trying to make it look as natural as possible. I like the whole the basic wood look, and also it's very simple. I like a lot of minimalist style, and this house is just so cute to me. I love it. Now, because I'm living off the grid, I'm not going to be using electricity, so there will not be lights in this house. So in order to do that, I need to have as much natural light as possible. So I've got a door that lets in natural light and lots of large windows. I was trying to get a little one in the top there and it wouldn't quite sit. As you can see on the inside of the house, I've just got plain white walls and just plain wooden flooring, just to make it look nice and simple and like something that someone could actually quite easily create themselves if they wanted to build a tiny home. Now I'm just playing around a little bit with the outside, trying to make it look a little bit more gardeny because it looked very basic and boring. So as the house is not going to have a lot in the interior, I'm putting a lot more effort into the outside of it to make it look more like someone that's actually going to live off the grid. You'd have a lot of flowers, and the Sims going to be very big into gardening. I've not used any cheats for designing of this house except for the enlarging tool. For those of you who don't know, you literally just hold down shift and then a open or close bracket to make the item bigger or smaller. I'm literally just going to fill up the entire outside of the house with flowers. So she's got something to look at through her large window she has in her home. A couple of little rocks thrown in there as well to make it look a little bit more natural. I like the whole overgrown garden type look, as you can see from this video. Literally trying to fill in all the little gaps now with odd little bits of flowers and grassy effects. Now onto the inside, I've just got little white cabinets. As you can see, I'm going to play around with this quite a bit, trying to work out what's going to fit where and how many things do I really need in the house. I had a little bit of trouble with that outside plant, trying to get it to sit right with the fridge. It kept shuffling about and not fitting correctly. I'm going to have a lot of white on this interior just to make it look, as it's such a small space, you need sort of plain colours just to try and fill out the inside of the house, won't make it look too crowded. As you can see, I later changed it to take out a couple of the cabinets. I worked out I only really needed one piece of side cabinet space because all she's going to be using is the fridge to take out garden salad or to eat her own fruit. So she's not actually going to need all that kitchen side in there. All it's going to do is just fill up the space. And I was playing around a little bit with curtains and blinds. In the end, I ended up just leaving this one piece of curtain just at the end of her bed, just to try and give a bit more privacy. I first put in a shower and then I changed my mind and I take out the shower because she's not actually going to be using it. I'm going to be using something from the game, a little potion you can buy just to give her a bit more hygiene, and then eventually I will be reducing her hygiene need once she's got enough points to buy it. So all she's going to need is a little toilet in there. Now when I say she's going to be living off the grid, she's not going to be paying her bills at all. So the toilet's going to get very, very dirty and it will need to be cleaned out. I might end up changing it from time to time as it gets a bit more smelly, but the idea is it's going to be more like a composting toilet, so it's going to be sitting there without actually having running water. Now I was playing around a little bit with giving her a few things to make the house look a little bit more homey. So I'm giving her a little bookshelf. She's not going to have any electricity, so she can read, but that is it. The sim I've chosen for this, I've given her the bookworm perk. So she's going to be very big into reading when she's not actually gardening, so that's going to be her own form of entertainment. I'm still just playing around here trying to work out where best is to put everything, shuffling it all about. I later changed it back to exactly where I left it before because it meant she had most floor space and it looked a bit bigger in there. Just putting a little plant in there just to make it look a little bit more decorated. But again, just keeping the very simple look of the house and not filling up too much with anything she's not actually going to need. Putting a little bedside cabinet there, taking out the old one because it was a little bit cheaper. Now this build is on a very small lot, it's the smallest lot you can get, and I have used literally just her money that she started with at the beginning of the game. So I haven't added any money into her, and I'm not going to be using a lot of money. I'm keeping it with just a little bit of money in there. I think she's left with about 7,000 or 8,000. Don't quote me on that. I'll check it at the beginning of the game next, but just a little bit of money. Now these little bins are absolutely brilliant because you can actually sell the dirty things and sell the rubbish. So as she makes her little salads, I can then put the plate in the bin and it will sell it and get a couple of simoleons for it. I decided to put her in a little outside table because she's going to be big into her garden. She can then sit and eat her breakfast outside, or if she wants to sit inside, she can just sit on her bed. She doesn't need to have a sofa in there. I was playing around again with the plants and trying to work out what she needs inside. I ended up putting candles by the side of the bed because I'm not sure if they count as electricity or not. I thought she could light candles as a little form of lighting in the evening. I've got a feeling it's going to count as using electricity because it still counts as a light, but we will see what happens. Put the post box over there as well, so everything's all on one corner of the lot, and she's got all this space then for gardening. Just tidying up now around the edges and putting in odd bits of floral tiling in there just to make it look a little bit more natural and planned out. As you can see, I'm trying to make a sort of garden path using the terrain tools, but I later take this out because I don't think it's really needed and it looks a bit odd. It doesn't quite fit the look of the lot. I tried to create a little patio area over there as well. It just didn't look right. I tried to put a little fence around it and whatnot, and I didn't like it, so I ended up taking that all out in the end and leaving it as it was. And so that is it. That is the finished house. I'll be using this house for a Sims Living Off the Grid challenge, which I'll be explaining a little bit more in the next video. If you like this, please hit like and don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Thanks very much for watching. Bye!